Welcome back to computer science class. In our previous class, we studied about the data types. And what all we studied in the previous class, that is the introduction, and then we have studied about the variables. What is a variable? How do you declare a variable? All these concepts we have studied. So we will revise those topics, and then we will study today. In today's class, we will study what is a data type and different types of data types. Okay, so the next thing what we are going to do is we are going to revise what we have studied in the previous class. That is, in order to learn any language, you should know the basic concepts of that language, which will form the basic building blocks of that program or programming language. So what are these basic concepts of basic building blocks? It includes variables, data types, etc. So what is this variable? What is data types? We are going to learn. And variable, already I have told you in our previous class what is a variable, and what is a data type we will study. And C++ it will provide a set of data types to handle data that is used by the program. So there are different types of data types which will handle the data which is being used in the program. In this program, we are going to find out the sum of two numbers or to add two numbers. Hash include iostream.h, IO, that is input output stream.h. All the functions related to input output will be present in this iostream.h. That is, for example, C in, C out, all those functions will related to this iostream.h. Then we have hash include conio.h. Conio is console input output, .h is header file. So whatever is related to display, console is nothing but the display screen. So the functions related to that will be stored in this conio, that is console input output .h. Then hash include IO manip. IO is input output, manip that is manipulation functions related to this will be stored in this file, that is IO manip.h. And all these three header files are compulsory. You have to write in all the programs. Void does not return anything. It is a keyword. Main is a function. Then we have opening bracket and the closing bracket. Inside the bracket you have got int. Int is a data type. ABC. ABC are the variable names. These variables are used in this program. So we have to declare those variables. We have declared here. A, B, C, A is equal to 10. So A value, what is the value of A? It is 10. And B is been assigned to 20. So the value of B is 20. Now we are adding these two numbers, that is A and B. 10 plus 20, that will be added and it will be stored in C. Now what is the value of C? It is 30. Now C out. C out is a function which is being used to display the output. That is sum is equal to C. So what is the value of C? C is 30. It will be displayed. So the input what we have given is 10 and 20 and the output is 30. And then we have to close the bracket and we get the output, that is 30. Variable. What is variable? A variable is an object or an element and it is allowed to change during the execution of the program. So it keeps changing during the execution of the program. Then we call it as a variable. A variable represents the name of the memory location. Gives the name to a memory location. Like it can be A, B, C, any value it can take during the execution of the program. So it is a variable. So declaration of a variable. Before using any variable in the program, you have to declare a variable. The syntax for declaring a variable is, first you have to write the data type, mention which data type it is, then the variable name you have to write. Now this is how you have to declare the variable. That is, first you have to mention the data type. Data type we will study now about the data types, different data types, and the variable name, the name of the variable you have to write here. So the variable name is an identifier. We studied about identifier in our previous class. Identifier is a name which has been given to a object or an element. So variable is also almost like an identifier, and these variables are used to denote a constant or array, function, structure, classes and files. Constants are values which does not change during the execution of the program, that will remain fixed, is called as constant. So in order to give the name to a constant, for example 5 5 is a constant. So A is equal to 5. We are giving a name to a constant. That is A we are given to 5. So that is how we are denoting a constant. Then array. Array we will be studying about arrays, functions and structures in our next classes, and classes will be studying in next year, and files also will study in next year. Let us see some of the valid and invalid variables. So we are following some rules in order to name the identifier. The same rules has to be followed for the variables also. So, some of the valid variables are register number, marks, name, student, DOB. DOB is date of birth. So these are the valid variables. Let us see invalid variables. Double. Double is a keyword. We cannot use it as a variable. Keywords cannot be used as a variable. So there are certain words known as keywords. They are predefined words. They have special meaning. Those type of words are called as keywords, and these keywords cannot be used as a variable. The next invalid variable is total marks. Why it is invalid? Because there is a gap, that is a space between the total and marks. So we should not leave any space between total and marks. Then it will become a valid. But since there is a space between the total and marks, it is an invalid variable. So no empty spaces are allowed between the variable names. The next is to student. Always a variable name should begin with an alphabet, but here we cannot start with an alphabet. It has been started with an that is a number. So if a number, if it is a first digit, that is the first letter of the variable is a number, then it is not a valid, it is an invalid variable. So always a variable should start with an alphabet. And here we are again starting with an ampersand result. That is not beginning with an alphabet, or it can begin with an underscore, but it cannot begin with any other special character. Here special character is ampersand, so it is also not a valid variable. So these are all invalid variables. So you would have understood why it is invalid, because it's not the rules are not been followed by these that is these values, that is double, total marks, to student, ampersand result. All these are invalid variables. Since it's not satisfying the rules, it's not a valid variable. Then comes initializing a variable. So you are giving some value to the variable, initial value to a variable. So the syntax for initializing a variable is, first you have to write the data type, then the variable name, then equal to value. So this value will be assigned to the variable. This is just a syntax. How do you initialize a variable? So first we learnt about declaration. Now we are studying about the initialization of a variable. So this is an example what is shown on the screen, that is int p is equal to 100. That is 100 is been assigned to p. The value of p is 100. So this value has been assigned to p, and what type of data type it is? It's an int type. Int is an integer. So here you can see a diagram over here. P is the variable name, and the value that has been assigned to p is 100. And in which memory location it has been stored? In 2000 memory location this value is been stored. So here the name of the variable is p, and 100 is a value that has been assigned to p, that is r value. It is known as r value. And the memory address of the location, that is where this particular value is being stored, that is where this 100 is stored. It's stored in 2000 location, that is called as L value. So let us see the meaning of data type. We are telling data type. In many places I have used the name data type. So you will be thinking, what is a data type? Data types can be defined as set of values which can be stored in a variable along with the operations that can be performed on those values. So what is data type? It is a set of values. So some values it takes. So set of values which can be stored in a variable. So these values can be stored in a variable along with the operations. So different operations it can perform, like addition, multiplication, subtraction. So these are the operations that can be performed on those values. So this is known as data type. Data type means it's a set of values which can be stored in a variable. So you can store those values in a variable. So along with the operations that can be performed on those values. C++ data types can be classified as fundamental data type, that is built-in data types, derived data type and user-defined data types. This is the main classification of the data types. So there are three different types, that is the fundamental data type, derived data type and user-defined data type. Let us see what is the fundamental data type. Under the fundamental data type, you have integer, character, float, double, void, boolean. So these are different data types that comes under the fundamental data type. Derived data type. These are the data types which have been derived from the fundamental data type. Example for derived data types are arrays, function, pointer, reference. All these are the examples for the derived data type. Then comes user-defined data type. User-defined data type are structure, union, class and enumeration. These are the different data types that comes under the user-defined data type. Let us see the fundamental data types. Under the fundamental data type, you have got integer data type, that is int. In short form we write it as int. So int type. So the int type is used to store integers. So why we are using int data type, that is to store integer. Integers, what is an integer? Integers are whole numbers without any fractional parts. They are whole numbers, that is it does not have decimal point, it does not contain any fractional part, then we call it as integer. And this includes numbers such as 145 minus 9. So it can consist both positive or negative values. So integer can contain both positive or negative values. An integer is allocated 2 bytes of memory space. That is 2 bytes is equivalent to 16 bits. So how many bytes an integer takes? It takes 2 bytes. So 2 bytes of memory is allocated to an integer. And what are the possible operations that integer can do? That is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, remainder, that is modulus operator we use and find out a remainder, etc. So what is an integer? Integer are whole numbers without any fractional parts. So what does this integer store? It will store integers. So this int type data type will store integer. So examples for integer can be 1, 45, 9 or 25. So any numbers without any fractional values are known as integer. So what these values can take? It can take both positive and negative values. And how many bytes an int can is allocated? It is allocated 2 bytes of memory space. And the possible operations of an int type is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and remainder, etc. Syntax for integer declaration or the general form of writing an integer, that is first you have to write the int. Int is a data type here and the variable name. So this is how you have to declare an integer. First you have to write the keyword int, int, it should be in small letters. Then you have to write the variable name and then put a semicolon. You can see an example over here, int a is a variable, again b is equal to 5. So here we are initializing the value 5 to b. So 5 is been assigned to b. This is how we are initializing a value to a variable and then we put a semicolon. So this is an example for integer declaration. The next fundamental data type is char. Char is used to represent character data type to store any character from the basic character set. The characters can be an alphabet or it can be a digit or it can be a special character. Always the characters are enclosed in single quotation marks. A character is allocated only 1 byte of memory space, that is 8 bits of memory space. So only 1 byte has been allocated to a character. A character is represented in a program by a keyword char. Char is a keyword which has been used to represent the char. So let us see the syntax or the general form of character declaration. First we have to mention the char. Char is a keyword. Then the variable, whatever the variable name. For example, char is a data type. Alpha is the variable name. We are assigning to alpha a. So always a single character should be represented with single quotation marks. So here a single character, that is one character a, that has been enclosed within the single quotation, that has been assigned to alpha. So the value of alpha is equal to a and you have to end with a semicolon. The next data type is float type. This represents a number with fractional part. Fractional part means it contains both the whole numbers as well as the decimal point. The float type is used to store real numbers. Real numbers means it contains both the whole numbers as well as the decimal numbers, that is the fractional part. Examples for float type is 1.8, 4.5, 12e minus 5 and minus 9.66 are all floating point numbers. It contains both positive and negative numbers. Float is allocated 4 bytes of memory space. 4 bytes that is equivalent to 32 bits of memory space. The syntax for the float declaration or the general form of float declaration is first you have to mention the keyword float and then the variable name. For example, float is the data type, A is the variable name that is equivalent to 5.5, that is 5.5 is been assigned to A. Whenever we are using A value, it will be replaced by 5.5. The next fundamental data type is double type. Double type is almost like float. Both double and float are very similar. Its size is 8 bytes of memory space, but the float it takes 4 bytes, but double will take 8 bytes. That is the double the value of the float, 8 bytes of memory space. And the declaration for the double is double keyword has to be used. Then you have the variable name, and you can see the example over here, double variable name, that is the name of the variable has to be mentioned, and then you have to put a semicolon. Example, double A is equal to 5.5 e minus 7. So this is a exponent form, that is 5.5 e minus 7, that is equivalent to A is equivalent to 5.5 into 10 to the power of minus 7. So the value of this is 5.5 into 10 to the power of minus 1, that is the value of the A. The next data type is void. Void data type, it has no values or no operations. It is empty. In other words, both the set of values and the set of operations are empty. It does not return any value. Then we call it as void. Void in main we will be using the keyword void. In this declaration, the main function will not return any value. Then we will be using the keyword void. This is a data type. We have studied all the fundamental data types. The next data type is derived data type. These data types are constructed using simple or fundamental data types. So this includes arrays, function, pointers and reference. So array is also collection of elements of same data type. So we'll be studying all these topics in our next classes. But you should know the example for derived data types, that is arrays, function, pointers, reference, or these are the examples for derived data type. The next data type is user defined data type. These data types are also constructed using simple or fundamental data types, but they are user defined. The user will define these data types. Some of the examples for user defined data types are structure, union, class and enumerated. These are the different examples for the user defined data types. The next data type that comes under the user defined data type is enumerated data type. An enumeration is a user defined data type. It consists of set of named constants called as enumerators. Enum is a keyword that will assign values like 0, 1, 2, etc. automatically to the values. The syntax for the enumerated data type is as follows. That is, you can find the enum inside the bracket tag, and inside the bracket you have the enum list, and it should end with a semicolon. So let us see an example over here, that is enum choice. So the choices can be very bad, satisfactory, good, very good. So based on the choice, that is choice can take very bad, or it can take bad, or satisfactory, good or very good. So the choice is the enumerated data type, and my choice, it can take any of these values, that is very good or bad or satisfactory, very good. Any of these values can be taken by my choice. So when we are writing a program, when we are using this enum, it can take a set of values will be given in the list. These values can be taken by this data type, that is choice, and my choice will take these values. In today's class, we studied about a data type. Data type means it is a set of values which can be stored in a variable along with the operations that can be performed on those values. So data type is basically it is known as set of values which are used in a program. So there are different values which are used, but these values are being stored in a variable. And there are different types of data types that is it has been classified into a fundamental data type. The fundamental data type is also known as built-in data type, and the next type is derived data type, and the third one is user-defined data type. Fundamental data types are built-in data types are already present, which are already built in, and they are used in our programs. The fundamental data types are of different categories, and derived data types have been derived from the fundamental data types, and user defined data types are also been derived from the fundamental data types, but it has been user defined. In this diagram, you can see the different data types, that is C++ data types, fundamental data type, derived data type, user defined data type. Under the fundamental data type, you have integer, character, float, double, void, boolean. Integer, it will contain only whole numbers. Character, it contains only the character, that is single characters. It will always be represented by single quotation. And float contains both whole numbers and the fractional part. And double, it is same as float, but only the difference is it takes 8 bytes and float takes 4 bytes of memory. And void is an empty set of values. It does not contain any values and it does not return any value. Boolean can take either true or false values. So these are the different fundamental data types which we have studied, and derived data types. Derived data types are array, function, pointer and reference. We'll be studying about these data types in our next classes. And user defined data types are structure, union, class and enumeration. So derived data types are those data types that have been derived from fundamental data types, and user defined data types are those data types that is also derived from fundamental data types, but they are user defined.